Okay, there we go.
Okay, cool.
All right, thanks, Danae. You can go.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Danae from Nelson Mandela Bay Tourism, Economic Development, Tourism and Agriculture within the municipality. With the local destination marketing organization for the city. Yeah, strange times. Hope you guys are all doing well and are safe and keeping busy. So normally I do one-on-ones or training where I can get some feedback, but I've muted most of you. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. I like interactive discussions. Excuse me, I've got a thing in my throat this morning. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to actually start with our website. Just to show you where you can get all the information, anything that you need on there. We have a specific trade and media section. This is where if you guys are looking for photos, videos, document downloads, this is actually the section that you will use the most. In here we have maps, we have routes, we have anything that you need, all the hiking trail maps, research. Also what's pretty cool is we have some tourism and activity product fact sheets here. We do try and keep these things updated as regularly as possible. So if there's anything that's not on here and you're looking for, you can also just give us a shout or give me a shout and I'll help you with that. We do promote some packages here, and then also the air access schedule. So that's all the flights and stuff. Obviously that would have changed now. So hopefully we can get that up and running as soon as possible. But the reason why you guys are here is so to get some training on Port Elizabeth. Normally I ask you what you know about PE, what do you think about PE, what is unique. We've done some research in the past and a lot of people say there's not much to do and things like that, which is not really the case. We might not have that many luxury products that activities that people can include normally, but there's really some unique things in here which I'll run through with you now. So what I'm going to do is we've launched the e-learning channel for our trade overseas, the tour operators and travel agents that sell South Africa and sell Nelson Mandela Bay. So if you go on our website, if you go to the destination training section here, it'll take you to the training page. What's nice about this is once you've registered, you've completed the training slides and you can do a final exam and then you get a certificate which you can put on your CV if you want or brag to your friends about. So I'm going to actually run through this as your training. So it'll make it a bit easier for you when you actually do the training. You can just pretty much register and skip to the end where you can do your quick exam. It's only a few questions, but I'll show you that afterwards. Should take you about 20 minutes if you don't have the actual, if you go through the slides one by one. So, okay, so let me explain the picture over here. You'll see this is based on international people who don't know PE that much. I hope some of you actually are from PE, and I hope to teach you some new things as well about the city. So obviously, you know, Port Elizabeth has been named after Nelson Mandela. He was born in the province. He gave us the right to use his name as a metropolitan city. The name hasn't been registered geographically yet. So on some maps, you won't find Nelson Mandela Bay. We are working on that. Let me just move the screen here, sorry. Okay, so let me get to this first section. Okay, so obviously you guys know where we are. We're situated along the biggest bay in Africa. This is also the one reason why PE got established is because of a little river that runs here, that water. I know Bartolomeus Diaz stopped in Mossel Bay first and then stopped in PE secondly, and I've got a theory about that because Mossel Bay's got some islands and we have some islands. A lot of people don't know about the islands of Port Elizabeth. They're pretty unique, but I'll get to that. And my theory is that it was easy food for them on their route towards Mozambique and stuff. So it's like a takeaway stop that you can get food on Mossel Bay, some seals and stuff. And over here we have islands with penguins and seals and all of these other animals as well. What you'll see here is a point that is called Cape Recife. This whole bay here is Algoa Bay. It's probably the most biodiverse bay in Africa. It's part of Addo Elephant National Park. You see Addo, the new section stretches quite far into the ocean. And it includes the ocean because of the islands. The bay from here to Cape St. Francis is actually called St. Francis Bay, named after patron saint St. Francis of Paola. It's also, a lot of people think St. Francis Bay is just a little town, but it's actually the bay that's called that. So Jeffreys Bay is actually in St. Francis Bay. Let me get you the next slide. So what makes me really nice to live in as a resident and also for tourists to visit, you can, we have probably one of the best, I think we were proclaimed the 4th best climate of any coastal city in the world. Our winter temperatures are nice and mild. On a cold day, it'll probably be about maximum 15, 16. And then in summer days, we actually have quite a nice moderate climate as well. It goes up to about 25%, 25 degrees Celsius, 26 on average. Some days we have pretty hot days. During winter as well, we've got something called the berg winds, which comes in from the Karoo and stuff. And it actually, we have like 50 degrees Celsius in winter. And then everybody will go to the beach and things like that. Located in the Eastern Cape, as you all know. I'm going to skip past that. Okay, so just quick facts. I've mentioned the fact that we're named after Nelson Mandela. We are renowned as the friendly city, and that's probably because we're such a mix of the diversity of cultures. The province is known for the Xhosa culture, but we also have Afrikaans, English, all the other. This is actually where most of the Anglo-Boer wars and things took place back in the day, and this is where most of the tribes got together and started fighting with each other, and hopefully now, luckily, we have peace. You'll see the flag over here. This is the largest South African flag in the world, the second largest in Africa. Also the highest flagpole in Africa. This flag is actually the size of a tennis court, so it's pretty big. In the mornings, it's pretty cool. They do a flag raising ceremony with the army. On windy days, they sometimes don't take it up, but you can pretty much see the flag from anywhere in Port Elizabeth. It's on the Donkin Reserve. I know a lot of the buses stop there. You'll see that's the Donkin Reserve. Let me quickly tell you about the Donkin Reserve. The first governor of Port Elizabeth was Sir Rufine Donkin, and his wife was called Elizabeth Donkin. So Port Elizabeth was named after Elizabeth Donkin. A lot of people think it was named after Queen Elizabeth, which is not actually true. She died in India, and then he erected a pyramid here, which you can't see now. And it's believed her heart is in there, although that's just a rumor. We haven't had the guts to open it up yet and check. Then also another fact is that we boast 50% of the African penguins in its natural habitat on St. Croix Island. Now, this is half of the total population in the world. So it's by far the biggest colony, and it's also in its natural habitat. Before, I think the 1970s, the African penguin didn't occur on the mainland of Africa, and that's mainly because of predators. So what you would have seen is Baldur's Beach was actually established by the penguins themselves because there were no more predators on the mainland. And this is also one of the reasons why Algoa Bay is part of a now international marine hope spot. It's also part of Addo Elephant National Park, which is the only big 7 national park for some more reasons. I'll get to that in the next slide. Then we're the only city in Africa to host the African Ironman Championships. That used to be quite a big thing for us. Before COVID-19, we had the World Championships here where we had about 4,000 international athletes. plus their families. So it's an annual event that attracts quite a lot of visitors, and they normally do pre and post tours to Cape Town and Kruger and all those other places. Then to get back to the wildlife, what you'll see over here is the Alexandria dune fields. This is also in the coastal side of Addo Elephant National Park. It's the largest coastal dune field in the southern hemisphere. And because of all the sand and the water that goes through it, there's lots of nutrient-rich waters that flow into the ocean. And that's why there's so much fish, sardines, and other marine species where the dolphins and the predators feed on. We've been declared the bottlenose dolphin capital of the world because we have about, on average, 28,500 bottlenose dolphins in the world. By far the most in the world. I know Australia boasts about their dolphins, and they have about 40 dolphins in a pod. On average, on a trip to the dunes and to the islands, you'll see about at least 300 in a pod. Sometimes you'll see 2 to 3 pods of bottlenose dolphins. It's actually one of the, I think if you go into TripAdvisor, one of the most liked experiences in Port Elizabeth. Also, interesting fact is we are the mohair capital of the world, and we process more than 90% of all mohair. Mohair is a wool that's pretty much like Angora. Anyway, it's seen as one of the most luxurious fibers in the world. Interesting story there is in 1845, a sultan from Turkey bought over 5 ewes and 1 ram. He didn't want them to breed to protect the mohair industry in Turkey. So he had them neutered, so they can't breed. But what he didn't know was that the one ewe that came out, one of the ewes were pregnant, and she gave birth to a kid ram, and then they started breeding with each other and with the boerbokke. And now the Eastern Cape process or manufactures about 50% of mohair internationally, and 20% in Lesotho, which is pretty much also within the province. And then most of the other countries that produce mohair actually ship them to Port Elizabeth for where it gets manufactured, processed, and shipped to all the fashion capitals in the world. Interesting thing there as well is that they used mohair on airplanes and all these fast-moving trains because it's fire retardant. When you travel, and you wear the socks, it actually repels moisture, so your feet will never sweat. So it's a nice thing to travel with. It's maybe a good gift you can give your clients when they fly back to Europe or wherever they come from. Then we've got Addo Elephant National Park. I'll tell you about that now, which is the Big 7. Big 7 being your normal lion, rhino, buffalo, leopard, elephant, and then includes now the white shark and the southern right whale. We recently got a permit for an operator to do white shark cage diving, but that is at Bird Island, which is quite far. So what they do is they combine it into a Big 7 ocean safari, or a really proper ocean safari. Oh geez, sorry, my dogs. What happens is they take you from the harbor to Bird Island, where you'll see the largest population of Cape gannets in the world. It's about 70% of the population. From there, you'll go to Black Rocks, where all the seal colony is, and then you can do shark cage diving. And you come back in the bay to past the Alexandria dune fields, which is you'll see on the screen now. And then from there, sorry, I just kids are back from school. Yeah, so then you go to St. Croix Island, where you'll see the penguin colony. Most of the dolphins use St. Croix Island to breed. So what they do is an area called Lover's Lane. And when you go on the boat trip, the long one, or just the island trip to St. Croix to see the penguins, on 90%, 95%, you'll see dolphins at the island. And it's a really cool spot to stop because they jump out and they interact with you. The bottlenose dolphin is known for its smile, so you get to see whales. We have 4 whale species in the bay as well. 2 of them all year round, the minke and the bride's whales. In season, you'll see the humpback and the southern right whale. It's probably the most unique eco tour or marine tour in the world. Bit expensive for locals, but hopefully they do every now and then have some specials. And now, especially because there's not a lot of international visitors coming through, there might be some better prizes. What's nice is you can combine the ocean safari with a adult tour. So in the morning you do this one, come back at 12, have lunch, and then do Addo Elephant National Park, or go check into the private game reserves. And I'm going to skip past this one. And that's where you'll see we've probably have the best game experiences on the garden route. We have private game reserves like Shamwari, Pumba private game reserves, all of the Lalibela, Kariga. I've actually got a list of most of them for you. So also on the trade fact sheet, I'll show you that a bit later. We're malaria free. I know we don't really promote that, but it's a really good option for people to stop if they have a short itinerary to South Africa. So if you do a 7-day tour or 12-day tour and they don't have time to go to Kruger National Park or those other places, flying to Cape Town, do the Garden to PE, fly back to Cape Town and then fly back. You'll see a little video here. I'm not going to put on the sound now, just to show you some of what it looks like. Key fact is that we have 5 of the 7 biomes just within the city. So if you're coming from Western Cape side, you'll see all these milkwood forest and those things. You'll see as you go through P to the other side, it becomes more arid, and you get to Addo, where it's mostly known as for its spackworm and those things. Get to the next slide. Okay, then adventure. Eastern Cape is known as the adventure province. It's probably one of the cool things about living in P is we're close to Tsitsikamma, we're close to the Karoo, we're close to the game reserves on that side. So there's lots of opportunities to travel from the city on day trips to all these different areas, and all of them have amazing adventure experiences. Within the city itself, we have zip lining, we have segways on the beachfront. Our helicopter flips, as you see now, is pretty amazing. It takes you along to Cape Recife Nature Reserve, where you can see the lighthouse. It takes you over the ocean so you can see dolphins. It's also available for transfers to the game reserves. Most of the game reserves are within an hour's drive from Port Elizabeth, so it's also one of the reasons why we have so many cruise ships stopping here. It's probably the best safari destination for cruise ships in the world, because of the proximity and the closeness of Addo Elephant National Park and the private game reserves. Our sandboarding is amazing. I would have liked to show you some of the videos. We do sandboarding, but we also have an experience called sand sledding. That is something like a bobsleigh, but you sit down. And then there's one area where they actually you go so fast, you pretty much go over the Sundays River. You have to wear a life jacket for that. Otherwise, the swim might be a bit far back. But it's probably one of the most fun experiences in the city itself. We have some new experience we have is the walking giraffe safari that you'll see there. Also within about 40 minutes from Port Elizabeth. Those are for the clients that like to hike. So you hike, you go see the giraffes, and so on. Then culture, one of our key, most used attractions, which is free. I know free attractions don't always find its way into itineraries because you do need to make some money, but this is a nice thing that you can package. We have guides that do guided tours of Route 67. It's part of the National Mandela Heritage Route. It starts by the harbour at the Campanile, which is it's a bell, tower bell. And then you follow your way up to the Donkin Reserve. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can do it from the top to the bottom or from the bottom to the top. The recommended route is from the bottom up, because it resembles the struggle of Mandela. He's 67 years in service. So you have to struggle up the hill. It's sometimes quite a bit of a climb. if you have all the passengers, I suggest doing the route down. But along the route, you'll find 67 quotes of Mandela's, one for every year. You'll see beaded artwork that represents quotes of Mandela. There's really interesting artwork that is interactive. So if you stand at a certain angle, it gives you a reflection of, and you can actually see what the artwork is. This you need to come and experience. We'll hopefully try and arrange some sort of a educational fan trip once lockdown is down, open. Obviously, lots of museums. As we a city, we have lots of cultural attractions, museums, galleries. Also, our website will have a full list of all of those things. One of our biggest museums is Baywell. It's also where our dolphinarium used to be, where we used to do dolphin shows. They're currently in Hong Kong, and we don't really want them to come back to South Africa because we don't believe in animals in captivity anymore. There's talks of, we are redeveloping it into a proper international tourist facility, and that'll probably start soon. Also, we're redeveloping our harbor, so there's going to be quite a few new products coming up, but I'll share all of that information with you as soon as there's some more time. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. If you have any questions, just put up your hands. Okay, so obviously our number one attraction for domestic market is our beaches. I think we have some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Some aren't really well known. You'll see the horse riding taking place here in the video. That's the sandboarding. The horse riding is actually on our most favorite beach in Port Elizabeth. It's called Sardinia Bay Beach. It's about 10, 15 minutes from the main beachfront, but it is in a nature reserve. So you can walk for kilometers. It's safe. You can take your dogs there. It's dog friendly. And you can do horse riding through the nature reserve onto the beach and back. It's probably one of our most liked activities on the city pass as well, which I'll talk to you about. Lots of boating trips. We have some really awesome. We've got a boat called the Stampede, which is a yacht where you can do an oyster tour. In the bay itself, we have some oyster farms, which then gets taken to Knysna once they're done. So most of the oysters from Knysna actually come from PE, so they get cultivated here and then moved there to grow. Yeah, so for free, I think it's free at the moment. Blue Flag beaches, it changes every year. We have a few ones that are on pilot stage, so our beaches are clean and safe. And obviously, I said our climate's pretty good. Our warmest, our swimming temperatures for the water it's a bit better than Cape Town. It's about 25 sometimes. It's a bit colder than Cape Town, Durban, but it's still nice, and the bay is also nice and calm, so your kids can be safe. This is one of the art pieces on Route 67. You'll see when you go through the training, there's a few practice questions. I'll just say answer this. There on the training, you'll see a list of most of the private game reserves. You'll see most of them are within a close proximity of Port Elizabeth. From here to Shamwari is about an hour's drive. Obviously, other big ones are like Amakala Private Game Reserve. Pumbaa's got the white lions. They also have a resident leopards that walk around, which is something you don't see that much in the Eastern Cape, because we've got the Cape leopards. They're a bit more shy than the northern ones. So, but you'll definitely have the opportunity to see the leopard in some of the Eastern Cape reserves as well. I know Addo's seen a few lately. Okay, so for those looking for guided tour options, I have a little, you'll see when you log in, you'll have, before you do the training, there'll be a toolbox where we have a list of all the main guided tours that are popular in the city. I'm going to just quickly run through them quick for you. So Ocean Safari, Penguin Patrol. This is a a niche tour. So they take you to the islands where you see the penguins in their natural environment. You then go to Bayworld where you see what research they do on the penguins, and then you go to Cape Receive Nature Reserve where we have a penguin rehabilitation center where penguins that are being rescued are rehabilitated. When there's an oil spill or something, which happens every now and then, they take them there to clean. They do offer volunteer programs. So if you have people interested in doing a marine volunteer program, this is a pretty cool one to do. They also take the penguins back to the islands and the gannets to Bird Island. In Route 67, I spoke about, obviously, one of the things that the UK clients like a lot is the beer and the Germans. So we've got a few amazing local craft brewers here. It's not just beer anymore, it's now also gin and rum. But what we do is we offer a tour that takes you to about 3 different ones. It includes meals at a good price of about 300 rand. So your CP is quite affordable. And then you get to hear the interesting stories. Some really, really interesting stories about how the names of the beers have been thought out. Like most popular tour for tourists from day visits from here is for the cruise ships and conferences is obviously Addo Elephant National Park. We have the normal city tour that takes you and tells you all the history of Port Elizabeth. Cultural tours, we have quite a few different tours. You'll see on that list of the guided tour options in the toolbox. We've got Mandela tours. We've got tours where you do a shebeen and dance tour. Struggles, stories. You can visit people's homes. We have some awesome crafters in the townships as well, which you can visit. Then Woody Cape, that's the area that includes Alexandria Dune Fields, which is part of Addo. This actually takes you on a walk through the dunes, the biggest dune fields, as I said, coastal dune fields in the Southern Hemisphere. Big Seven Safari, that's a 1-day tour that you can obviously extend that if you want to more than 1 day. But then you do ocean safari and you do mainland bird watching. We have a few amazing reserves with some endangered bird species in the bay, one of them being the roseate tern in Cape Receive Nature Reserve. Sundowner, so if you have clients who want to do a proper sundowner with champagne and things, they can do that. They also, Cape Receive, we do the lighthouse tour where they actually take you for sunset and you do drinks and snacks at the lighthouse. That's our beaches. Sunrise River Valley Adventure, that is the citrus valley. Right next to Addo is a big citrus area where it's one of the biggest citrus growing areas in South Africa, where we actually export it's the oranges, lemons, and those things. You can do a proper farm tour, similar to a wine tour, except it's not grapes and wine, but we do offer some gins and some specially made alcoholic beverages from citrus. And then social responsibility tours, that's something new that we've introduced, where you meet with crafters, you make your own souvenirs, you get to spend time with the local crafters. Also, you can go and volunteer for Alpha Day in one of the townships where you can teach kids to play soccer or netball, or you can go and paint schools and things like that. Those are for the guys who actually just want to give back when they're in South Africa. Angela, you must just tell me about the time. I can't see exactly how much time I've got left.
Normally about 40 minutes, the Zoom. So you've got a few minutes left, yeah.
So you'll see there's a few practice questions which you can do if you really want to, just to keep your mind ready. In here, you'll see, it'll give you a specific, just a quick thing about the history and those things. Okay, so
maybe we can ask as well, does anyone have any questions? Because I think it's been very comprehensive. Does anyone have any questions at this stage? You can either put it in the chat box or unmute yourself. But you can carry on, Dana, as well.
You'll see there's some information. Oh, so there's somebody. No.
Danae, sorry, it's Tammy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Can I just ask a question quickly?
No problem.
I just wanted to find out, is it safe to stay along the beachfront in PE? Because I've booked people, it was a few years back, and they said to me that they just didn't feel safe along the beachfront.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's changed.
Well, at the moment, it's very safe. Yeah, so we've had some incidents, but it's not just Port Elizabeth. From what I sit on the Safety and Security Committee, we were worried just before lockdown of all the incidents that were happening. We've had some issues, but once we had one or two incidents that we introduced, especially around the cruise season, we introduced a tourism safety ambassadors. And it's one of the key things we are looking at the moment with the city, and it's also to establish a tourism police sector. It's the number one priority for us to get right after lockdown. So we have security police. We do still encourage, like in any other city, that people don't travel alone, don't walk with your wallets, all of those things. We do have safety guides now and maps at most of the guest houses and B&Bs and hotels. So just to give them advice on how to be safe and how to be vigilant. Most of the tourists that do get robbed normally are on their cell phone or they walking alone. So yeah. Unfortunately, one of those things. No?
Yeah, you're right. Okay, thank you.
If you do have clients that do by chance get into trouble, you can always give them my number or give me a call. We have a support program in place. So I'll normally go and visit them, see if they're safe, if they've lost their passports and stuff, we get that sorted for them.
That's great. Thanks, Danae. Thank you.
So these slides you'll see are more for your people who don't know how to get to PE. Although at the moment, I don't think any of us know which flights are coming to PE. There's not that many. Some selling tips. I'm going to run through the pass with you quickly. That is for our domestic market mostly, but we do actually find quite a lot of self-drive international visitors buying this. We've got an app with safety tips, virtual tours where it's GPS connected. So if you do Route 67, for instance, when you get to an art piece, it'll tell you about it. It's nice to have earphones on so you don't walk with your cell phone, obviously. But we do have safety ambassadors permanently now at the Donkin. There's also an office there, so those areas should be safe. There's a list of all our visitor information centers there, but also on our website for you to visit. I'm going to skip this. You guys know all of these things now, hopefully. That's our website address if you guys are looking for it. So once you've done this, please don't look at the answers now. I'm going to try and close this quickly. This is just a few multiple questions. Once you've done this, you'll actually get a nice certificate which you can put on your CV. I don't know how much it's going to be worth to you, but so once you've logged in, there's also a sales toolbox. So if you need the guided tour options, our top experiences, you'll see there's a brochure that explains all of those. We've got a map of Route 67 with a description of most of the artworks. Some maps, we've got an Elephant National Park map if your clients need a map. We also have booking agent for national parks. So if you don't sell or do bookings for them, you can always ask us to help you. Our website and then the PASS website, which I've already got open. Yeah. Okay, so as I said, we introduced a Nelson City Pass concept for our locals, but not just the locals are buying it. So a pass is pretty much a package that you buy. I don't know if you can see my screen here. We have there's a little card here, which you buy. We have an e-card as well. So there's a few different types of passes. Let me quickly go there. So the 5-in-1 pass you'll see is valid for 3 months, and you can do any 5 of the offers on the card for free. I'll I'll get to the prices later because this is actually one of the most affordable ways to see the city. So if you buy this one, most locals buy this one. It's valid for 3 months. So for 3 months, you get all the discounts on the card. There's quite a lot. Plus, you can do any 5 of the free offers. That includes free offers like free entrance to Elephant National Park, free Segway tour, free city township tour, free entrance on most of the museums, free Segway tours, activities, and even the horse riding in Salina Bay. Excuse me. And then the other one, which mostly international people buy, that's the unlimited itinerary pass. You'll see the backpackers actually buy this quite a lot because they like to do as many things as they can in a limited time frame. So you can buy it from 1 day up to 7 days, and it's valid for consecutive days only. But then it gives you as many of the attractions, free attractions as you want. So you can do 5 a day or 12 over 3 days if you have enough time. I know some of the things can be used quite a lot. So obviously the more you do, the more you save. I'm going to show you the price quickly. So at the moment, the 1 day pass is $450. The 5 and 1 $650. So and then the children are slightly less. If you see what you get for that, you'll see it's actually great value for money. And this is a thing that we also package for the domestic market. So if you guys are doing packages and stuff for the domestic market, it's actually pretty cool tool to do. Because what's nice is, say for instance, you wanted to go do the golf at Newwood Links, but the weather's bad. You don't lose your money. You just pretty much, or you cancel your booking. You don't have to cancel your booking. You pretty much just switch to another offer that's available during the rainy day or whatever. So there's quite a lot. I think we've got about 65 odd products. We've included some on the way here and some like in the garden route. We made those discounted because we actually want them to do most of the things here. But you, like Monkey Land, Bridge of Eden, you get discounts. You get discounts on car rental. So you'll see each offer: free entrance to Adelaide National Park, free Segway tour on the beachfront, free canal cruise in St. Francis. We had the linen zip line in Addo. This is actually the longest double zip line in Africa. It's on a citrus farm, but it's also on the way there. You do a fossil walk. So it's a pretty cool day out. They also have a giant swing, and this is actually right next to the main entrance of Addo. So pretty close. At a Wildlife Center, free entry, Krakama Game Park, which is one of the game parks within Port Elizabeth. We have rhinos there, buffalo. They've got lions now as well. Nice thing for a day out with the family. So there's quite a few. The indoor trampoline park. You'll see a lot of these things aren't things that international visitors would normally do. I didn't say they won't go to a trampoline park, but that's why domestic market is keen on that. Indoor wall climbing, tuk-tuk tours, Heavenly Stables, ice rinks for free. Might actually be in your best effort to actually buy some and come visit us. So some of our game reserves also for discounts for day safari. So Puma is 35% on a day safari is quite a big discount. River cruises, you'll see a nice boat cruise that's with the sandboarding, free surfing classes. Sorry, I mustn't say blah, blah, blah. Cool thing, our racing, horse racing is pretty cool. I don't know if you've ever been to the races. So we also offer commission on this. So if you do have, or you do want to create packages and stuff, we can maybe negotiate even lower rates. But on average, we give about 10% commission. Those for issuing it. Then I think I'm pretty much done with that. Just want to show you one of the documents I have here on my desktop as well, which is downloadable. Let me just open this and then screen share that. It's upside down, but what you'll see here, we've got a little trade fact sheet. Most of the things I've said is on this map. It's downloadable. What's nice is the marine encounter section. This is thing we get asked quite a lot. So when is the sardine run? When is the humpback whales here? So this gives you an estimate time. Obviously, sardine run, most of the international packages get sold, normally sell out 2 years in advance because it's quite popular. And they normally come from Port Elizabeth and then travel along the routes like National Geographic, BBC, all those guys use our boats to follow them and film them. Quite a few series. I don't know if you guys saw the guy that got swallowed by the whale here in South Africa. Anybody saw that? It's actually one of our operators. He was doing the sardine run and then the whale came up and took a bite of him. Although, no, took him down, spat him out. They call him Jonah here in PE now. Yeah, so this is something you can send to your clients. Yeah, and then also have a look at most of our videos. I'm not going to play videos and things here. Yeah, I think that's me.
That was great, Danae. Nice and comprehensive. Does anyone have any questions for Danae?
Danae, sorry, you mentioned something about the pyramid, and you said you'll explain to us later.
Oh.
What was the pyramid about?
Yeah, that was where the heart of Sir Rufus Donkin's wife apparently is in. So the Donkin Reserve is pretty much the culmination of all our history. What you'll see is you'll find Sir Rufus Donkin's, the pyramid named after that, the lighthouse. There's a nice climb that you can do to the top and look in different directions of the city with boards that shows you all of those things. But then you'll see it was redeveloped and they've put in huge mosaics. I wonder if I could show you some nice pictures. Let me just do that quickly. Let me just get back to my Zoom. So I'm going to share a screen. So you see.
It's Angela. Sorry, I have to go, but you carry on and answer any questions, and it was really great. Thank you. I've just got another meeting.
Okay, no problem. If you guys need anything, Angela's got my details. Just pop me a mail. I'd like to see you guys sometime soon. Also, those who have time extra, you can visit our virtual expo. It's on at the moment for the Eastern Cape. You can just Google Eastern Cape Virtual Expo. It's taking place from yesterday and today. Those who haven't been to a virtual trade show, it's pretty interesting. You just have to download a little app and then you can walk around and visit some of our products. Here we are. So this is a view from the top where you see the mosaics as well. It's actually quite an interesting tour because each of these circles represents an industry within the city. Every art piece along the route, you see a little downhill here. That's actually, I don't know if you can see my mouse. At the bottom is the harbor, and then you follow yourself the route up to the top. Over here where the flag is and those things. There's also the voting line where you can stand, take a selfie next to the voting line. So actually, this is a tour I suggest you do with the virtual guide, the one on the app, or with a guide, because there's so much history and stories that get told along the route that you won't really do it justice if you do it by yourself. And it's nice to also do it with a local guide. I know the guides are struggling at the moment, so it was also maybe a good thing. I know sometimes they charge, with the pass it's free, so if you have the city pass you can do the guided tour for free. But for groups they do a really good price. But I can help you with that. I can help you with STO rates, any of these things that you need. If there's any products that you want to include, yeah, just let me know. Any other questions? Sorry, I didn't know, Johnson, I don't know if I answered your question there. So, yeah, this is...
just that the reason I wanted, you did mention that you're going to talk about the pyramid. So yeah, I thought Duncan's wife was mummified there. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
so she apparently he used to be the governor in India somewhere, and then he was stationed in Port Elizabeth, but she was still in India. So we have some linking. One of the markets we target in off season is the Indian market, so we have some linking there. So what happened is then she passed away while she was there. It's actually quite a sad story. In the mosaic, it's actually a little. By the bottom, there's a mosaic of her face as well. Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm not a guide, so I can't tell you more than what I've already told you about the pyramid. But it's one of the oldest buildings in the city.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions?
Actually, I'm just amazed about that largest flag you said, and the largest flagpole. I
Oh
never
yeah,
knew that.
yeah, no.
Are you just taking credit for something else, or just is that a fact?
No, it's a fact. It's largest South African flag, and the second largest flag in Africa. So definitely the biggest in South Africa. Until somebody else comes and beats us. For now, we're claiming that. Yeah, but we'll probably still promote it, even if it's not the biggest one, you know.
Thank you.
Can I ask you some questions? What are your plans for opening up now? If leisure opens domestically, are you going to be selling local packages or?
Yeah, we're just waiting for them to open up their local, because we had quite a few inquiries
Okay.
and quite a few bookings as well, but unfortunately they can't leave. They
Yeah,
can't
so
go.
is there any way that we can share with you? Maybe create some local packages for you, or who do we speak to about that?
Yeah, obviously we can talk about it.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Any other
Thank you,
questions?
Donny.
Oh, I must probably unmute people now. How do I do that? Okay. I'm going to say goodbye. If you have any questions, I'll give you my cell phone number. It's 083 410 3565. Anything else would be, you can always email me as well as dlow@mandelametro.gov.za. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Donny. Goodbye. God bless, and good luck in your promotion.
Yeah, thank you, and stay safe, please.